You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
It is Thursday, February 27th, and we have a fellow DCE in the house, which means
I'm
you're
outnumbered
again.
That happens a lot. I think you're planning this.
Is that the DCEs are taking over the world?
Yeah, well, I already knew that.
We're not. We have a great opportunity to talk about a film that's available all over, but there's going to be a screening of it here in the St. Louis area. Talking with Paul Nelson, Director of Christian Education at King of Kings Lutheran Church in Chesterfield, Missouri. Paul, thanks for joining us in studio today.
Thanks for having me.
Always a joy to have a fellow DCE in studio,
Absolutely.
But especially when addressing some of these things that we deal with in this life, in this world, and anxiety is certainly one of those issues. And we've been addressing topics like that on Mental Health Monday to see a parish DCE and to see congregations recognizing the needs of individuals, families, youth, and addressing this is certainly encouraging as well. So, how do you, as a parish DCE, Director of Christian Education, how would you describe the impact of anxiety on those you serve today?
It's quite a bit. I especially see it in our youth. When I talk to other church workers, especially, we talk about schedule and how their schedules are just jam-packed. And so when they're balancing schoolwork and extracurriculars and church activities, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of worry on that. And there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure, especially with schoolwork and looking to college, but also, you see that on top of it today in our culture with pressure to perform, with TikTok, with Instagram, and so there's some that are regular pressures, regular anxiety, and then there's pressure from the culture around us as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and anxiety doesn't just affect your mental well-being. Mm-hmm. How have you seen it affect the whole person, the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual well-being of the people that you work with?
Yeah, it's certainly a draining thing. Some of our youth just feel very bogged down, and to see that is really hard, and so we try to give a lot of grace and help them that way. But yeah, it's definitely physical. A lot of tiredness involved with that, and I think there's a lot of guilt too, because they feel like they shouldn't feel anxious, or that it's not okay for them to feel that way, and so there's that emotional aspect of guilt a lot too.
So it sounds like what you're seeing in real life, in day to day, the real nitty gritty of serving with families on a daily basis, is that anxiety really is a real problem that impacts a lot of people, not just a small percentage, but really does impact many households. How do you think families are equipped to address this issue of anxiety in their household, whether it be for a youth or for adults, for the whole family? How are they equipped from your perspective as one who serves families?
I feel like some are more equipped than others. Part of that has to do with family history. If they're used to having mental struggles in the family, there's more, I think, understanding and more preparedness. If it's okay to ask for help, if it's okay to talk to a counselor, I think that affects a lot of whether they're equipped. So how you approach that as a parent is extremely important, and being recognizing the need to ask for help and the need to get help.
Yeah, it can be hard to talk about, and especially if a family doesn't have a family history, or has not talked about a family history that maybe everyone knows about. It can be really difficult.
Absolutely.
A difficult subject to bring up. And there's a lot of vulnerability there that can be very, very uncomfortable for people to open up about too. Yeah. When we're talking about this movie, or the documentary Angst, give us a rundown of what this movie is, and then we'll talk about it in the broader scheme of things.
So Angst is a 55-minute documentary, so not too long, and it really is educating on what anxiety looks like, what anxiety is. And my favorite part of it is how practical it is. There's a lot of practical advice on, how to, if you're dealing with anxiety, how to cope with it, how to help you kind of calm down in some situations, but also looking at parents, looking at friends, and how you can support someone that's struggling with anxiety. It's also kind of cool. They talk about, they have Michael Phelps is in it. And so big name, big time swimmer with some, had some big time moments in history, and some might see him as a superhuman type guy, but he struggled heavily with anxiety. And so seeing that even these superhuman type people do deal with this as well, that it is okay to deal with when you're when you're normal people.
Yeah.
Just having millions of people watch you on TV around the world swimming in competition, that wouldn't be anxiety inducing at all. No, not at all. Yeah. No, being a little bit lighthearted about it, but it is a real problem that many people face. And so King of Kings Lutheran Church, and you're partnering with another church to bring this film to make it available. Yeah,
we're partnering with St. Paul de Pere. They're helping out, and so we're hoping to also have some counselors there available to talk if this brings up some anxiety, or if you have questions or just want to talk to someone about stuff going on. So yeah. But St. Paul de Pere is helping as well. So this is a community event available at King of Kings Lutheran Church, Angst movie, and this is a film that's available. That there are screenings around the country, correct? Correct. Yeah. If you go to their website, I believe it's angstmovie.com. You can look for search for screenings nationwide. Some of them may charge. We are not charging just because we want as many people as possible to be able to attend. But you can search that and find some in your area or nearby. And they're updating all the time. So if you don't see it one day, go back another day, and it might be an upcoming one. And when I did the search on there, the screening that you're providing at King of Kings in Chesterfield is, I think, one of only a few, maybe if maybe the only one in the St. Louis area, at least for now.
Right now
that
it
I
is,
saw.
yeah.
Yeah. I know in the last month there had been 2 or 3 other ones.
Okay.
So it does happen. But yeah.
So angstmovie.com is the website. You can see if there's a screening of it in your area as well. What are you hoping that that those who come to see it, whether youth or adults, or first of all, I guess I should ask, is it appropriate for youth to attend with parents?
Absolutely. I think I would almost encourage that. Just because it really helps see the mindset of someone struggling with anxiety. I think the more we can understand mental illness and mental health in general, the better we can work together to support one another as brothers and sisters in Christ. And so for parents, it's hard to always understand your kid, and this is definitely a way that you can really lead to some healthy discussion. So I'd encourage parents to go. Really, anyone of age can go and learn something of value to help someone they know or themselves. Yeah.
How are you hoping that this will be a resource even to teachers and professionals who work with children?
Yeah, it's really just understanding anxiety more as a whole, and really practical things that they can do to recognize or to help them when they're struggling. So, a great resource to not only come and see the film, but as you mentioned, there will be other resources available for individuals, for families to connect with while they're there as well. Tell us the details about the event, the date, time, those sort of things. Yeah, so this is we're screening this on Sunday, March 1st at 6 p.m. at our sanctuary at King Kings in Chesterfield. So open to the public. It's a free event. We'll have popcorn and some water. So
of course, popcorn.
Yeah.
So this is coming up this Sunday. What was the time again?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. at King of Kings Lutheran Church in Chesterfield, Missouri. For those who might not be familiar with the location, just brief directions here in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, so we're right off 141 and Olive, so just west of 141. So pretty easy to find us on Olive and get there. So,
and we'll share the link in the program notes as well today for information about that as well. I lost my. I had it. Apparently, I was a little too anxious.
Uh-oh.
No.
Been there.
Painting a picture of where this fits into. We have just about 2 minutes left. Okay. Where this fits into how you serve youth and families as well. How is this a part of caring for the people that you serve?
Really, it's lifelong learning together. One of the cool things is that this is actually a supplement to our multi-generational Sunday school in the morning. So we're doing the theme is mental health marathon. So we're talking about mental health in a really full way. We're having David Eberly from Lutheran Family and Child Services come. We're having Counselor Lydia Snyder come and talk about depression and suicide. We're having Tabby the Comfort Dog come talk about Comfort Dog Ministry, talking about just emotions at a basic level for kids to talk about mental health. And so it's kind of an all-encompassing thing that we learn together, we learn life together, we learn faith together, we learn to live together.
Giving, talking about emotions with kids, giving them the vocabulary to address the emotions that they wrestle with. And why do we address these? Because caring for the whole person allows you then enables you to address the spiritual needs just as well, especially when you increase that vocabulary and can address the things that they're wrestling with, that they're struggling with.
Yeah, that they can communicate with others and they can communicate with God through prayer. So.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Coming up at King of Kings Lutheran Church in Chesterfield, Missouri, 141 in Olive, just not too far from 141, right?
No, just down the road.
Just down the road there. And that's coming up this Sunday at 6 p.m. See the movie, the Angst movie. If you're not in the St. Louis area, you want to see where it's coming up in your area, angstmovie.com. You can just type in the zip code there and find out if there is a film in your area as well. And thanks to our friends at St. Paul's de Pere for partnering with you to make this event available to the community. Paul, thank you so much for coming over today and sharing with us about this great opportunity for families and for educators, as Sarah mentioned, too, to connect.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.